CJ Holmes has joined us, and the thing he's got in common with Charles Barkley, they both wore the navy blue and the burnt orange of the Auburn Tigers playing at Neville Arena. Hey, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Hey, look, it was called Auburn Arena back in my day, but I guess Neville Arena's cool. Like, you kind of just got to live with it.
There you go. Hey, on the subject of hoops, I don't know about you, but I can distinctly remember about a week and a half ago, I'm in the barber shop, and then the subject of Jordan Poole and the Warriors, all this stuff came on, and I remember saying, "Oh, don't worry, there's no way Jordan Poole is going to be off of this team. There's just no way." And then, boy, was I wrong when it came out in the last week. Did that kind of catch you off guard, or did you have a hunch that something might be in the works?
Hey, listen, when new Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. told us on Monday, told reporters on Monday that they're looking forward to having Jordan on the team for the next 4 years. I mean, to me, in my mind, I thought that meant Jordan was safe. The fact that Jordan got traded, makes sense on some level. One, the team has been open about their, desire to re-sign Draymond Green, considering the tension those two have. It was either one or the other, if we're being completely honest. And they chose the guy that helped them win 4 rings. And then you bring in Chris Paul, right? The bounty of the Jordan Poole trade probably should have led with that. The biggest issue for the Warriors last year were the troublesome non-Stephen Curry minutes and the bench. So you swap out Jordan Poole for a guy like Chris Paul, one of the best point guards to ever do it, veteran presence, and calm things down when Steph, Clay, Dre, and those guys are off the court. So it was a confusing trade, and at least like when it first went down, I was like, why would the Warriors do that? To give up on a 24-year-old blooming star, a guy who just helped this team win a championship 2 years ago, for a 38-year-old injury-prone point guard. No disrespect to Chris, one of the best to ever do it. It didn't make much sense to me, but when I was able to remove emotion from it and sit down and really think about it, it makes a lot of sense.
This is what I was getting from Warriors fans every time the name Chris Paul came up, because he's been a nemesis of the Warriors for years. So when it happened, folks were coming to the sports department, and it was like, Chris Paul, great, he's old. Chris Paul, oh man, boy, this stinks.
The assumption is that he comes to Golden State prepared to take on more of a reserve role. So when we talk about a guy as injury prone as Chris Paul, he was playing 30-something minutes a night for Phoenix. That's probably going to be more like 15 to 18 with the Warriors, which should help keep his injuries down, keep him fresh. Not to mention the Warriors have medical Jesus in Rick Celebrini on staff. So I think of all those factors, put into consideration, I think they can keep Chris healthy. He'll anchor that second unit. And, you get that second unit playing at a high level, then this Warriors team ascends to a higher level.
Hey, here comes the Draymond Green question. You get 4 years and 120 some odd million off the book. That is plenty of kitty to kind of rework whatever it is to keep the band together in number 23.
Yeah, that was another big benefit of, trading Jordan to Washington, is it gives the Warriors a lot more financial flexibility to navigate these upcoming contract negotiations that they have on their plate. Jordan being traded, I don't want to say it confirms that Draymond Green's coming back, but it increases the likelihood that Draymond Green will be able to get a contract that he can agree with. I'm hearing it's going to be somewhere in the 3-year range if he agrees to it. So it gives the Warriors a lot more financial flexibility in terms of team building, in terms of retaining the guys that they do have.
You brought up Dunleavy Jr., been one heck of a week and a half for him. What do you make of this new GM and the moves that he's made?
We'll see. We'll see. Moves are interesting enough. I've already explained the potential impact Chris Paul can have. Brandon Podemensky. Sorry if I butchered that, Brandon.
Pajemski.
Still working on it.
Yeah. Yep.
Still working on that, Brandon. But, he's a guy that he's 20, so he's not necessarily fit the mold of the, it was a youth movement last year. This year is more of a grown and sexy movement, right? In terms of Mike Dunleavy and the job he's done, it's a wait and see approach, but he definitely has my interest. I think he has Warriors Nation's interest, and everyone around the league is watching, see how this thing turns out.
Well, the Warriors win now window is wide open, and the chips have been moved to the middle of the table. So, again, like you said in this interview, we'll wait and see how this all unfolds. We got the entire rest of the summer to figure it out. Hey, thanks so much for a few minutes, CJ.
Hey, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.